The Earth is dying because humans are killing it, and the only way to save humanity, according to the richest man in the world, Elon Musk, is for us to become a multi-planetary species, meaning it's time for us to go to Mars. To achieve this, Elon has dedicated a lot of his personal resources to ensuring that by 2029, 1 million people will be living comfortably in a self-sustaining city. Magnificent and enthralling, right? However, while the idea of leaving Earth and moving to a self-sustaining city on Mars is exciting, there are a lot of things that Musk is hiding from the world. So, in this video, we'll reveal to you some things you probably didn't know about going to Mars and why it's a pretty bad idea. So, Elon Musk says that going to Mars is paramount to the future of life itself because there's always some chance that something could go wrong on Earth. And to do this, he proposes, for a start, that 1 million people should be sent to Mars along with 100 million metric tons of supplies and materials, which would help them build this self-sustaining city on the red planet. To achieve this great crossing, all it's going to take is a fleet of 1,000 Starship rockets flying back and forth from Earth to Mars every 2 years, because the launch window for Mars only opens every 2 years. This sounds great and all, but think about the fact that the current SpaceX Starship can only carry about 100 people at one time, and if all the 1,000 space rockets happen to launch at the same time, then only 100,000 people will be able to get to Mars with a limited number of supplies every 2 years. Imagine how many years it'll take to carry 1 million people and 100 million metric tons of materials to build this so-called self-sustaining city. But that's not even a disadvantage because technology is advancing rapidly, so it's possible that before 2029 Elon would have created something that could carry more people, maybe even 1 million people at once. But why Mars? Why is it that whenever there's talk about colonizing another planet, it's always Mars and not our closest neighbor the Moon or even Venus or Saturn? We've got about 9 planets to choose from. Well, the simple fact is that we don't have another option. The Moon is quite close to us, but we certainly can't live there, and let's not even talk about the other planets, which are totally not habitable. And Mars is no different. However, the difference is that it has the potential for human survival, at least according to Elon, who believes that one day we can make Mars just like Earth. But is that even possible? Well, first things first, what makes Earth perfect for humans? The answer to that is everything. From the atmosphere to gravity, climate, and natural resources, all was made ready for humans to survive and grow. Think about how our skin blocks the right wavelengths, how our lungs tolerate the right gases, or even how our bones handle the right forces. And the fact is that anything more than a slight deviation from all these conditions will be catastrophic, which leads us to the question: what do we have to work with on Mars? First, let's look at the temperature. If you're going on a trip to Mars, you'd do well to grab a lot of winter clothes, especially very thick ones, because most of the time the planet is very cold, and I mean really cold. We're talking about a place that's almost always below 0 degrees, but it's not all that bad because sometimes the temperature can get up to 20 degrees Celsius, which is kind of nice. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean when the weather is 20 degrees you can just hop out of your brain and go for a walk, because the atmosphere is pretty much non-existent. What you will find, however, is lots and lots of carbon dioxide with 0 oxygen, meaning you can't breathe. And if you can't breathe, how will you survive? The only option then will be for humans to live inside a dome where there's oxygen. And if you want to go outside, you've got to put on your spacesuit. Isn't that like a prison? Honestly, Mars doesn't give us much to work with, and its atmosphere and temperature are more than enough to discard the idea of going to Mars. But not surprisingly, there's more. Unlike the Earth, which has an atmosphere that blocks all the bad radiation coming from the cosmos, Mars doesn't have anything that will protect its surface from cosmic radiation. Its atmosphere is much thinner, so there's a high risk of people dying from radiation diseases such as cancer. Sadly, cancer is not the only disease you risk getting if you happen to be a part of the 1 million people who will be traveling to Mars by 2029. The gravity on Mars is much lighter than Earth's, approximately about 0.375 that of Earth, which means a 180-pound person on Earth would weigh a scant 68 pounds on Mars. This may seem nice for people with lots of weight, but in the long term, the low gravity is very likely to wreak havoc on human health and even cause damage to human fertility, which, as you know, will endanger humanity. I mean, if people can't reproduce, how would humans repopulate Mars? Now that's scary. But while you're still thinking about that, you should know that just like Mother Earth can unleash hurricanes and tornadoes, Mother Mars periodically unleashes epic dust storms, which can sometimes cover as much as 1/4 of the planet. And worse is that those storms are so strong they can destroy equipment and materials. And what's the guarantee that pretty strong epic dust won't destroy the dome? And let's not forget that if you happen to breathe in the dust, you may just have some kind of respiratory disease. In essence, Mars is not safe, and like Elon Musk says, any little mistake can cost the life of a person. But let's say somehow the dome is strong enough to withstand radiation, epic dust storms, and the cold, meaning that one of the basic needs of man, which is shelter, has been provided for. But what about food? Can crops grow on Mars? The answer is no. As a result of Mars's extremely cold, thin air and sterilizing radiation, it would quickly kill any crops planted in the soil. So at first, food and water will have to be shipped from Earth to Mars every 2 years until the scientists on Mars figure out how to grow plants in a greenhouse on the dome. If you think food is quite expensive now, just wait until potato salad or bread has to be boosted out of Earth's gravity well, flown across the void, then gently deposited outside a Martian airlock. Food becomes very expensive and probably rationed until plants start growing in the greenhouse, as there aren't really lots of options when it comes to food on Mars. If you're a vegetarian, you'll probably be happy on Mars because the food will consist mostly of potatoes and greens. But if you eat meat, I'm sorry to say you'll have to replace meat with insects. Yes, get ready to eat some insect goulash with some potatoes on the side, but it shouldn't be all that bad, right? And there's even some good news. An Israeli company is currently trying to grow meat from cells, so hopefully before the 1 millionth crossing to Mars begins, their experiment will be successful and people will be able to eat meat on Mars. So as you can see, there are a lot of challenges associated with traveling to and living on Mars, and to a large extent, there's a high chance that humans may not survive it if anything goes wrong. I know the argument for colonizing Mars is so that we can prolong the survivability of humanity just in case something happens, such as the ozone layer shattering to pieces and the fiery sun melting Earth and everything in it. But there's also a possibility that if that does happen, Mars will melt as well. And even if Mars happens to survive, what's the guarantee that humans won't begin to destroy planet Mars through their activities the same way it's currently happening on Earth? Instead of thinking of colonizing Mars for the future of humanity, why don't we focus on making Earth a better place for humanity to survive for as long as possible? What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share this video. Cheers, until next time.
Imagine knowing the secrets of a man who predicted the 2008 financial crisis and turned it into a fortune. Michael Burry, the legendary investor immortalized in The Big Short, is back with bold new moves in the stock market. What could he possibly be seeing that others don't? Brace yourself as we dive into his latest 13F filing to uncover the secrets of his portfolio and what it might mean for the rest of us. First off, for those of you who might be new here or need a quick refresher, Michael Burry is the genius who predicted the 2008 housing crash. His story was so captivating, it became a movie called The Big Short. Now, Burry is known for his sharp, often contrarian investment strategies. And when he makes a move, the financial world pays attention. Burry just released his latest 13F filing. This document is like a peek behind the curtain, showing us what stocks he's buying and selling. Usually, Burry's moves can seem all over the place from one quarter to the next, making it tricky to pin down a clear strategy. But this time, two strong themes have emerged, giving us a bit more to chew on. Inflation. Remember when we thought we were getting inflation under control? Well, Burry seems to think otherwise. He's betting big on another wave of inflation hitting us in 2024. Why? Burry believes that the economic measures taken to curb the initial wave of inflation might not be enough, and we could be in for a second round. And if history has taught us anything, it's that when Burry makes a prediction, it's wise to listen. Now, digging into the specifics, Burry's portfolio shows some interesting shifts. He's heavily investing in commodities and companies that tend to perform well during inflationary periods. Think of sectors like energy, agriculture, and basic materials. These are the industries that can pass on higher costs to consumers, making them a safer bet when prices are rising across the board. One standout move is Burry's increased stake in oil and gas companies. With the global energy landscape being as volatile as it is, and with supply chain issues still making headlines, this move suggests he's anticipating higher energy prices. And higher energy prices often signal broader inflationary trends. But that's not all. Burry is also eyeing agricultural stocks. Why? Because food prices are a major component of inflation. As the world grapples with climate change and supply chain disruptions, agricultural commodities are likely to see price hikes. Burry's bet here is that these stocks will benefit as food costs soar. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Is Burry's prediction something we should all be worried about? Well, he's been right before, and his track record speaks volumes. But it's also important to note that the market is unpredictable. While Burry is positioning himself for what he sees as an inevitable second wave of inflation, we need to consider other factors too, like potential government interventions and global economic shifts. So, what does this mean for the average investor? Should we all start buying up commodities and energy stocks? Not necessarily. While it's intriguing to follow Burry's moves, it's crucial to do your own research and understand your own risk tolerance. Diversification is key, and jumping on trends without a solid plan can be risky. Now onto the specifics of his recent activity. Burry has been doing a lot of chopping and changing in his portfolio. He sold out of 14 stocks, including big names like Google, Amazon, and Oracle. At the same time, he added to 11 positions and bought 5 new stocks entirely. Here's where it gets really interesting. One of these new additions is the Sprott Physical Gold Trust. In Q1, Burry bought over 440,000 shares, making up 7.37% of his US portfolio. Now, you might wonder why he's buying into gold when prices are already high. Well, gold is a classic hedge against economic uncertainty and inflation, two things Burry is very concerned about. Sprott Physical Gold Trust is a closed-end fund that holds assets in physical gold bullion. With gold prices at near all-time highs, this move might seem odd for a value-minded investor like Burry. However, gold is a safe haven during times of economic instability and market volatility, something Burry has been vocal about. His investment in Sprott aligns perfectly with his long-standing concerns about economic conditions. Now, historically, gold has been a go-to asset during economic uncertainty. Its price spiked during the Great Depression, skyrocketed in the 70s, for reasons we'll discuss shortly, and surged after the tech bubble burst, the 2008 financial crisis, and more recently during the COVID-19 pandemic. While much of gold's appeal is psychologically driven, the trend is undeniable, and Burry is banking on this uptrend continuing since October last year. With all that's happening globally, from tariffs and elections to wars, supply chain disruptions, and rising inflation, gold is an attractive hedge. Beyond economic downturns, investors flock to gold for its stability. It's a similar story to why Burry is increasing his positions in commodities and agricultural stocks. In summary, Michael Burry is back and making bold predictions once again. His latest 13A filing reveals a clear strategy aimed at preparing for a second wave of inflation in 2024. By investing heavily in commodities and industries that thrive in inflationary times, Burry is positioning himself to potentially profit from what he sees as an inevitable economic shift. Michael Burry has a significant investment in JD.com, which is the largest stock in his US portfolio. This investment is worth approximately $99,986 million. However, considering his estimated total fund size of $238 million, JD.com represents just about 4% of his overall portfolio. While this is a substantial investment, it is not overwhelming in the context of his entire fund. More interestingly, Burry appears to take a cautious approach to investing. It is estimated that around 52% of his portfolio is allocated to US Treasuries. This large allocation suggests that Burry is being careful amid the current market volatility, preferring the relative safety of government bonds over more volatile equities. It's important to understand that the information about Burry's investments comes from 13F filings. These filings provide a snapshot of his US portfolio at a specific point in time, but they have limitations. For one, they only cover his investments in the United States, meaning any international investments he holds are not included. Therefore, the 13F filings do not give a complete picture of Burry's entire investment strategy. In addition to the limitations of the 13F filings, these documents only show what Burry held at the end of the reporting period. They do not account for any changes made shortly before or after the filing. Given these factors, it's essential to consider the broader context when analysing Burry's investments. His significant holding in JD.com and the substantial allocation to US Treasuries indicate a balanced strategy. On one hand, he is investing in a major Chinese company, reflecting confidence in its growth potential. On the other hand, his large investment in US Treasuries shows a preference for stability and caution, likely as a hedge against market uncertainty. Thanks for watching. Please like the video, press the subscribe button, and also drop your thoughts in the comment section.
The pinnacle of football rivalries, the El Clasico. Real Madrid versus Barcelona, a showdown that transcends mere sport, delving deep into the realms of culture, history, and city pride. But hold on to your seats, folks, because this battle extends beyond the pitch and into the realm of architectural extravagance. Picture this: two iconic stadiums, each with a legacy as rich as the game itself. In one corner we have Camp Nou, nestled in the heart of Barcelona, boasting a design that's as breathtaking as the city it calls home. With its three-layered structure, this stadium is set to redefine the spectator experience, offering unparalleled views and a Mediterranean-inspired ambiance that'll make you feel like you're watching the match in paradise. Now shift your gaze 600 kilometers away and you'll find yourself at the Santiago Bernabeu, the hallowed grounds of Real Madrid. But this isn't your average stadium makeover. Oh no. Real Madrid is going all out with a jaw-dropping exterior wrapped in 60,000 square meters of curved steel. And if that's not enough to make your jaw drop, how about the world's first retractable pitch that runs underground? Talk about taking innovation to a whole new level. But wait, rewind the clock and let's delve into the history books. Back in the 1940s, Real Madrid set the standard for football stadiums at the Santiago Bernabeu, propelling the club into the stratosphere of success. Barcelona quickly followed suit, giving birth to Camp Nou, or as the Catalans like to call it, the New Ground. Fast forward to the 1980s, and both stadiums underwent major facelifts in preparation for the 1982 World Cup. Camp Nou became the largest stadium in the world, while the Bernabeu expanded its horizons, venturing into the realm of multidisciplinary business. But the game doesn't stop there, my friends. Real Madrid is on a mission to future-proof the Bernabeu, transforming it into an architectural marvel that'll stand the test of time. However, it hasn't been smooth sailing. Zoning disputes and financial hurdles have plagued the project, with costs skyrocketing to a mind-boggling $1.5 billion. That's more than 4 times the cost of Inter Miami's new stadium, in case you were wondering. So why the sudden obsession with stadium renovations, you ask? Well, it's simple. It's all about staying ahead of the game, both on and off the pitch. Real Madrid and Barcelona aren't just football clubs, they're global brands, symbols of their respective cities, and ambassadors of the beautiful game. And what better way to assert dominance than with a stadium that's as awe-inspiring as the teams that call it home? Picture this: 2 footballing powerhouses, Real Madrid and Barcelona, locking horns not just on the pitch but in the realm of stadium renovations. It's a showdown of epic proportions, where each club unveils a master plan that could reshape the very landscape of football. Let's kick things off in Barcelona, where Camp Nou is undergoing a metamorphosis of Mediterranean proportions. Think 3 layers of architectural brilliance, maximizing light, expanding walkways, and offering jaw-dropping views over the city. It's a design that screams Barcelona, capturing the essence of this vibrant metropolis. Now, hop on a high-speed train and journey 600 kilometers to Madrid, where the Bernabeu is rewriting the rulebook on stadium design. Brace yourselves for a spectacle of steel with 60,000 square meters of curved brilliance wrapping around the iconic stadium. But wait, there's more. Real Madrid isn't just raising the bar, they're burying it underground with the world's first retractable pitch. Yes, you heard that right. A pitch that disappears like a magician's trick, paving the way for a whole new level of footballing wizardry. But let's rewind the clock a bit and delve into the history books. This rivalry isn't just about goals and glory, it's a tale of 2 cities, each with a stadium steeped in footballing lore. Real Madrid set the stage in the 1940s with the Bernabeu, a state-of-the-art marvel that transformed the footballing landscape. Barcelona wasn't far behind, unveiling Camp Nou in 1957, a cathedral of football that echoed with the cheers of thousands. Fast forward to today, and both stadiums are gearing up for a makeover of epic proportions. Real Madrid aims to future-proof the Bernabeu, transforming it into an architectural icon that stands the test of time. But it hasn't been all smooth sailing, folks. From zoning disputes to ballooning budgets, the road to stadium nirvana has been paved with challenges. Meanwhile, over in Barcelona, plans for Camp Nou's facelift have been in the works for what feels like an eternity. Hindered by financial woes and management meltdowns, it's been a roller coaster ride of delays and setbacks. But fear not, football fans. Now, let's talk philosophy, shall we? The Bernabeu's new look isn't just about aesthetics, it's a tribute to the city that birthed it. With a sleek steel facade that dances in the sunlight and a retractable roof that opens up like a flower in bloom, it's a sight to behold. But the real magic lies beneath the surface, where a groundbreaking pitch awaits. Picture this, a pitch that disappears into the abyss, making way for a new era of footballing excellence. Let's take a peek behind the curtain at the Santiago Bernabeu, where innovation meets ingenuity. Real Madrid isn't just upgrading their stadium, they're revolutionizing the fan experience. A pitch that disappears into thin air, making way for a seamless transition between football matches and other events. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. As fans gaze up from the stands, they'll be greeted by a 360-degree scoreboard, bringing the action to life like never before. And let's not forget about the Skywalk, a breathtaking terrace with panoramic views of the pitch and the city beyond. But wait, there's more. Outside the stadium, a new shopping mall, museum, and restaurants are taking shape, transforming the Bernabeu into a hub of entertainment. But with great innovation comes great cost, and Real Madrid's ambitious plans come with a hefty price tag. From a modest budget of $950 million to a staggering $1.5 billion, this is one investment that's sure to raise eyebrows. Yet even with such a colossal budget, Barcelona isn't backing down. So what does Camp Nou have up its sleeve? Enter the next generation of the Camp Nou, where tradition meets modernity in a symphony of architectural brilliance. Unlike the Bernabeu's bold exterior, Camp Nou is stripping away its facade to integrate seamlessly with the vibrant city of Barcelona. With 3 levels offering stunning views and a retractable roof that doubles as a dazzling light show, this is stadium design at its finest. But don't be fooled by its simplicity. Camp Nou's new design is packed with innovative features aimed at enhancing the fan experience. Steeper stands ensure better visibility, while a brand new third stand eases pedestrian congestion and improves accessibility for all. And let's not forget about that translucent roof, casting a mesmerizing glow over the stadium in a rainbow of colors. A closer look at Camp Nou's makeover. While it might not boast a retractable pitch like its Madrid counterpart, don't let that fool you. A brand spanking new pitch has been laid, setting the stage for an electrifying new era of football in Barcelona. But wait, there's more. Camp Nou is just the tip of the iceberg in the grand Espai Barca redevelopment plan. Picture this, a sprawling complex of state-of-the-art facilities aimed at boosting revenue and enticing new sponsorships. From a revamped Paula Blaugrana with 5,000 extra seats to a Barcelona hub housing the club's official store and museum. This is more than just a stadium renovation, it's a transformation of epic proportions. But how did Barcelona pull off such a grand plan, especially in the wake of financial turmoil? Well, it's all thanks to a little something called flexible structure. By spreading out debt payments over 35 years, Barcelona has managed to turn the tide on financial mismanagement and secure a brighter future for the club. And with revenue projections soaring over $200 million annually, it's safe to say the gamble is paying off. But let's not forget about the Bernabeu, where innovation reigns supreme. From its jaw-dropping steel facade to its revolutionary retractable pitch, Real Madrid is pulling out all the stops to stay ahead of the game. And with a projected $217 million in extra revenue each year, it's clear the investment is worth every penny. As part of the Camp Nou renovation, they've taken desperation to a whole new level. Picture this. They've dug up the old pitch, carbonized it, and transformed it into synthetic diamonds. Yes, you heard that right. You can now literally own a piece of footballing history. But it'll set you back up to $16,000. Talk about turning grass into gold. But that's just the tip of the iceberg, my friends. Barcelona is pulling out all the stops with their Espai Barca plan, committing a staggering $1.6 billion to revitalize the club and reclaim their spot at the top of the footballing pyramid. With over $930 million earmarked for Camp Nou alone, over 3 times the original estimate from 2007, this is more than just a renovation. It's a statement of intent, a declaration of Barcelona's unwavering ambition. Construction is well underway, with completion expected by 2025. Get ready to witness a new dawn for FC Barcelona, folks. But the burning question remains: how does Camp Nou stack up against the mighty Bernabeu? In Barcelona, a whole new campus is taking shape, promising a revolution in fan experience. Meanwhile, in Madrid, the Santiago Bernabeu stands as a beacon of stadium design innovation. With its sleek, futuristic exterior and fully retractable, stackable playing pitch, Real Madrid is raising the bar to dizzying heights. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments.